what was I saying? Oh, you had sent over a story about kids.
Yeah.
College students demand counseling.
Okay.
Remember that?
No, but remind me.
This was something that, was a hot topic last summer. Remember we covered the whole Confederate.
Wait a minute. J-Ro with the home run. I can't quit you when. That's good.
So funny. So anyway, we covered a story last week about a druggy gal down in the New Orleans area that went and ripped down a God forbid a Confederate flag.
What?
Yes. Well, you shared a story with me this week about college students demand counseling after being traumatized from seeing a single Confederate flag on a laptop.
That's right.
Counseling.
From seeing a picture.
From seeing a flag, basically a sticker.
So fucking
I mean, what is wrong? Why are we so weak?
Where is the counselor to say, stop being a pussy?
Yeah, you can't say that, though.
Why?
The political correctness has made it impossible to say, quit being such a faggot.
Why do you have to acknowledge something that is so stupid that it's beyond comprehension? Why do you have to say... Why, if some kid comes in and says, I can't function unless the sky turns pink, why do you have to in any way acknowledge that? Why can't you say, stop being a dumbass and take your ass back to class?
I don't know the reason. I really don't.
That's what this is. My feelings are hurt because I saw a Confederate flag. Shut up, faggot. Take your ass back to class. I'd make them. I would fucking, as a requirement to get over it. My fucking job would be go wrap all your books, or what do you call those book covers?
Yeah, the book covers.
Go make book covers out of Confederate flags.
Right.
You have to have your books like that for 6 months.
Sure.
That would be my punishment. Fucking queers.
While the world copes with the growing threat of terrorism and ISIS attempts to spread its fascist tentacles in all directions,
right?
It's important to remember that there are plenty of cases of traumatizing terrorism.
Oh, brother.
That are happening in America, and more specifically on college campuses. Don't pretend that you don't know what we're talking about. Don't act like you don't know what someone's safe space was horribly violated.
Christ.
Horribly violated.
Horribly violated.
My safe space.
What is going to... Dude, here, let's just play 5 years ahead. Do you think it's a fair assumption to think that might not be ISIS, but something like ISIS is going to be in this country in 5 years? You think that's a fair assumption?
To be honest with you, and I hate to say this,
yeah,
I think it's our own government who's looking to just, come down and control our people.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm talking about the harsh action, kill or be killed in our streets. Do you think that's
happening now?
Well, I don't mean protests. I mean...
No, I'm talking about, terrorist attacks like what happened down in Miami a couple of weeks ago, or San Bernardino, or over in Dallas where the 5 cops got shot.
Right.
That's happening now.
How are any of these weak-minded pussies going to fight back?
They're not. They're going to just roll over and say, don't hurt me, Mr. Terrorist. Don't hurt me. Whatever you need. If you need your dick sucked, I'll do it. Just don't hurt me.
They're going to be the ones that lay on the floor and get shot in the face.
More or less, yeah. Yeah, of course.
I've told my fucking robbery story, haven't I, on the show?
I'm not really sure.
About being robbed at gunpoint?
No, I was not aware of this.
Okay, I'll tell this real quick. And it's not to try and make me seem like a tough guy, because I don't think that I am. I just know that I will not be shot in the back You know, if somebody wants to kill me, they're going to look me in the eye and do it,
Okay.
if at all possible. I was working, this was years and years ago. This is when I first got out of the military. I was working at a Domino's.
Okay.
And at the Domino's, we were working late one night, and a guy came in with a gun to rob the place. And I was working at the front, and there was like 3 other people there. And we gave him the money. You know, I mean, that's standard procedure. You give him the money, right? And the guy started yelling at us to get face down on the floor. And the other guys got face down on the floor, and I was like, fuck you, not doing it. And I just stood there. I was like, if you're going to shoot me, fucking shoot me. But I'm not laying on the floor. Fuck off. And the guy was like, well, fuck you, you fucking... And then, you know, out the door he went. And I ain't going to lie. I took a very deep breath, and then I sat down and fucking had to catch my breath.
Sure.
Killed, you know, and it scared the shit out of me. But I was not going to go down that way. I was not going to be a fucking sitting victim asking somebody to shoot me in the back.
Right.
I would much rather be fucking shot in the face.
Sure.
You know, I mean, let's hope, you know, most times, let's be honest, if you get shot in the face, you're dead anyway, so you're not going to remember it.
Right,
so
exactly.
it's all good. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I just was thinking, I'm not laying down.
Sure.
Fuck you. But it's because the reason I had that was, 1, I served in the military, and 2, I was raised to fucking not be a pussy, you know, to stand up for myself. And I did, right or wrong.
Right.
And it could have been wrong. I could have easily taken a bullet to the face.
Sure.
But, you know, the truth is what are these kids going to do? These are the ones that we're depending on to fucking protect us in this next generation.
They're not going to protect us.
Think about it, dude. When our parents were kids, they taught us to be tough. Why?
Sure.
We could fucking take our role as their protectors as they got old.
Right.
And I see none of that. I don't see any. I see such a lack of toughness in this generation right now. I don't know how they even flesh out the military.
Sure.
Do you? I mean, do you see that there'd be enough people that are tough to fucking to be in the military today?
No.
I don't see it.
No. And I'm going to tell, and I know this is kind of a stupid thing, but I'm going to relate a story to you.
All right.
All right. Yesterday, I went to the grocery store.
Okay.
All right. You know those little plastic baskets that they have? If you don't need a whole shopping cart, you know, you can pick up the little plastic baskets that stack.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I watch people. I kind of watch people's antics or their I don't know what you want to call it. It's their the way that they handle themselves in public.
Okay.
And I'm especially cognizant to the younger men, how they handle themselves.
Okay.
Like when I grab a basket, if I don't need a whole cart, I just grab a basket by the handles and walk through and pick my stuff up.
Okay.
Yesterday, I saw this young guy.
Okay. How old?
20-something.
All right.
He had one of those plastic baskets, but he had his arm looped through the handles.
Oh, like it was a purse?
Exactly.
Ugh.
And I'm thinking, there's a guy who was raised by his mother. That was my first thought when I saw this guy, the way that he was carrying that basket.
Right.
It's like, this is a very effeminate guy.
Did you ask him?
No, but I see this stuff, and these are traits that are very feminine traits.
Yeah. True.
And they learn that through the the influence of being raised by their mothers as a single parent. And I'm not criticizing single parents. I'm just saying that this new generation does not have enough male role models to say this is how you be a guy.
Right.
They take on effeminate qualities.
I'm gonna disagree with you slightly here.
Okay.
I agree with you about them taking on the feminine qualities, but I don't necessarily agree with you about being single parent moms. I think the guys now are very fucking weak. Like our age guys. There's a lot of guys that are our age that just will not stand up on anything to their wives. And the kids learn from that. The kids learn to fucking take their cue from their mom.
Sure.
Because dad does it, so why wouldn't I do it?
Right.
But you know, and it's weird because since we started talking about this a few months ago, I've started kind of running it through my head.
Yeah, you kind of watch it now.
Yeah, and I think about kids that are my kids' age.
Sure.
And I think, and most of them definitely have, they have moms and dads, like married couple moms and dads, but they don't have strong dads.
Yeah, their dads are a wimp.
Yeah.
They've got a wimp dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that is a part of it. I think it's just that the dads are not tough.
I just thank God that I was born when I was born, because if I had to deal with this pussy generation these days,
right? It's
my God. I just see it every day. This is one of the reasons I do not like to go out in public much, because watching this shit and recognizing it and seeing it every day, it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, dude. It's scary and it's sad that this is what's left. That's the worst part, is it's what's left.
Yeah. You know, once in a while, it doesn't happen often, but, you know, my friend Steve, of course, you know Steve.
Yeah, I know Steve.
You know, he'll invite me out and we'll go have a bite to eat or something. We'll hang out or whatever. And every now and again, you know, even my employer will say, hey, let's go grab a bite or something.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And I'll go out into like a restaurant area or something like that.
Right.
And I see all these younger people, and all these guys have this very delicate, genteel, effeminate quality about them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we weren't like that. My friends and I were not like that. We were rough and tumble, just dudes, you know? And these guys are very limp-wristed, very weak, very effeminate. They don't want to get their hands dirty.
Right.
Just like, oh my God.
Well, dude, how many guys in your world do you know that they are, their answer when you ask them to do something is, well, let me see what the boss says about it. How many say that?
A lot of them.
Most of them, right?
Yeah.
Well, what does that say?
That just tells you that they can't do anything on their own. They have no ability to.
It's not, they don't have ability. They do have ability. They just don't choose to exercise it.
Right.
They're afraid of their wives.
Exactly.
And look, I took much shit in my marriage. You're well aware.
Oh, I know that.
I took so much shit nonstop. But that was something I did not do. I would just do it and deal with the fucking chaos. I did it for fucking, 3 years on the show.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is there was always chaos. Always chaos.
But I would do the show and then take another 3 hours after the show of being fucking yelled at about every fucking word I said wrong that she didn't like.
Right.
That went on for, people don't know that side of the story, and I can sort of tell this without really telling this. But literally, when the show ended at 3 o'clock in the morning, I didn't go to bed until 6. And the reason I didn't go to bed till 6 was because I got a recap from her. And I won't say exactly what she said, but I'll just say that it was not, hey, you did a great job this week. That's where it was. Now, Neely, if you want to fill in the blanks, feel free.
Yeah.
But it was a nonstop battle.
Sure.
But the difference was I just fucking did it. I was just going to do. That's probably why I'm not married anymore, because I just fucking did shit and didn't care if she liked it.
Well, you had 2.5 years of trying to calm that situation down, and it never got any better, even with your disassociation with everything in your life. Everything.
Friends, the show, the other show, everything.
The magazine, everything.
I got away from everything in my life except her, and it didn't get 1 ounce better.
Nope.
No, it ended with another cock in her mouth. That's where it ended. So, it didn't make any sense. And believe me, the worst. I look at it now, and I think the worst mistake of my life was that I gave up those 3 years.
Sure.
Because we were on a roll.
We were.
You and I were on a huge roll.
Yeah, we were doing very well.
And that was when we were getting offers from satellite radio, and they were real serious.
And we were. That's funny. You should use that term. They were serious.
Yeah, they were serious.
and we were on terrestrial radio on a small station.
Yeah, and getting offers to do other stations, and we had a lot of offers to do a lot of shit that we couldn't do because of that.
Yeah.
And then I just bailed.
Yeah, it's just, I've had, and the thing is I did not hold any animus towards you or
sure. You
nothing.
got it. You were here. You saw it firsthand.
I saw it. It's just like, dude, you do whichever you got to do. And it was like, okay, I don't like the fact that you had to leave.
Yeah.
But you left because of your sanity.
Well, and frankly, I went more insane. That's the worst part of it, is that I split and then I went more crazy.
Sure.
That was the worst part of the whole thing, was you would literally. All right, I'm just going to break the rules, I guess. I had 2 good weeks when I quit the show. I quit the show, and you have the email. At some point, you can read it. I don't care. But I had 2 really good weeks where, like, look, you're trying, and she was trying to feed me that, you're doing well, and by doing this, you're doing what I want, blah 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 blah. 2 weeks, and then it was right back to what a piece of shit I was.
Right.
Just different things.
And then you even took her on a cruise.
Yeah, but that was bad too. The cruise was bad.
Sure.
The cruise was bad. She told me that. She told me flat out the cruise was awful.
Yeah, but you made the plans and went on a cruise and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but I did a couple of things that I wanted to do too, and God forbid we do that.
Right.
God forbid when we're in Orlando, the cruise was 4 days. I took an extra 5, which if you've ever gone to Florida, you know how much that costs for an extra week in Orlando. And God forbid I did something horrible. I wanted to go to NASA, so we went to NASA. Like the space NASA.
Yeah, sure. You wanted to see the space capsules and stuff.
Well, not only that, it was also right in the same time as the very last one was going up.
Right.
So I wanted to see that. God knows that was horrible. Wasting her time. Fuck off. Wasting your time.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey.
Yes?
I don't. I half agree with what you're saying, and I half disagree with it. I don't. I think you're being a little harsh on the millennials. First of all, I think you're wrong about single parent families. Most black guys who will kick your fucking ass are raised in single parent families by single moms.
Yeah, but they're not raised. But they're not raised. They're not raised by.
My father was in the picture, but I'm a product of a single of a single mom family, as is my brother. But what I'm saying is, you're saying they're overly sensitive. It's always fucking been that way. The only difference between now and when you and I were kids was there was no fucking social media. Okay? Come on, let's be honest about it. We all knew fucking kids who were fucking pussies when we were fucking growing up. We took their fucking lunch money, for fuck's sake. And it's always been that way. It's just now with fucking social media and with the way the media is involved with all this political correct shit, it's just we can't get away with fucking picking on them like we used to. But they've always fucking been there, and it's always fucking been that way. I look at the guys in the military today. I'm a veteran. I hang out at the VFW sometimes, and I see the new guys, and they look every bit as fucking rough and tough as we were. Hell, they're fucking serving in fucking combat now. So I am definitely not going to fucking put them down. And it's just, I just think it's always been that way, but we didn't have the social media back then. And, the the fucking the media wasn't up everybody's fucking ass with all this political correctness bullshit. I think the only thing that has changed really is the media. You know, it's what I refer to as the pussification of society, where the fucking nerds and the fucking pussies are having their fucking moment in the sun. And, you know, regular fucking guys like me and you, well, you know, we're on the fucking outside now. But I don't really think it's really changed it. I don't think it has anything to do with single-parent families or anything else like that, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I will tell you from my observation that, you know, I keep an eye on these things. I keep a lookout. When I was growing up, and I think Chris will concur, that when we guys went out with our chick, we always did the driving. We owned the car. We went out there and made the living, whether it was being a busboy or whatever, all these other things. Today, whenever I'm at a gas station or something where I see a car pull in, the girl is always driving. The guy is always in the passenger seat. He's always on his cell phone playing video games or Facebooking or whatever the fuck they're doing. The girl gets out of the car. She pumps the gas. She pays for everything. And the guy just sits there. And the reason I say this is because this is just a extension of living at home with mom, because mom did all those things. And he just found found a girl that does the same thing as mom used to do. And it just carries on from there. When Chris and I, and yourself, I'm assuming, when we were growing up, we're the ones who did the driving, and we pumped the gas, and we paid the bill, and we did the jobs, and the girl sat in there, and she was a girl. So that's what I'm talking about. This is where it comes from. So a lot of these broken families, or a lot of these, you know, women, and this is not a knock on women, this is just because of poor choices or bad situations in life. These guys are being brought up by their mothers, and the only influence they have is their mothers. And they pick up a lot of the same traits, a lot of the effeminate traits, and they capitulate to the females, you know, because their mother was in charge, and then they go find a girlfriend who she's in charge, and so he's willing to just sit in the passenger seat and just be a little pussy while she calls the shots.
Come on, we've all known fucking pussy whip guys, even from our own.
But it's more
generation.
prevalent today than ever, is what I'm
trying. I don't see it. I mean, obviously you do, but I don't know where I'm from.
How about you, Chris?
I don't really,
are you seeing it or not?
I definitely see it. Not
really. No. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't see it. You know,
well,
I
keep
see
your
women.
Eye. Go to any.
I see women holding jobs and having careers.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm not talking about that. And
I'm not saying I've never seen like this guy that you're describing. I'm not saying I've never seen it. I wouldn't say I see it all the time or that it's prevalent in any way.
I see it all the time. I see it at the grocery store. I see it at the gas station. I see it anywhere, you know, out in public. I see it all the time. The girl is in charge, and the guy just follows behind like a whipped little puppy and just, yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear, whatever you say, you know, and she basically calls the shots just like his mom did when he was growing up in his mom's house. Same thing. He just graduated from his mom's house to his girlfriend's house. That's it.
Before you say anything, Scotty, since you can't hear when we talk, I just want to clarify one thing that you said, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with anything that you said except this one thing. We did not, and if it was perceived this way, I want to make sure that it's not perceived this way, at least coming out of my mouth. We were not saying that the military guys today are pussies. By no means were we saying that. What I said was that this generation is hard to figure how they're going to repopulate the military with these guys, with enough people. The guys that are currently serving, they're tough as nails, and as they have to be in the military. But my point was that there's not enough like there was in the old days to fill the military with tough guys. That was
we got gays in the military now, so
which
we
is
repopulate. You want to know something that's funny? Is the fucking gay people thought that Obama was like fucking doing them this big favor about, letting gays in the military. But the reality of the fucking situation is that guys were not fucking re-enlisting because they were not cycling them through overseas. Guys were like supposed to be going over there for like 90 days, and they were getting kept over there for like a year because they didn't have enough people in the military because they'd gotten away from active military and kind of filled the ranks with the National Guard and the Army Reserves. So what Obama did is he legalized gays in the military because it wasn't because so much of an equal rights thing. He needed the fucking bodies is what he needed. So he passed this fucking law to make it okay with and all the gay people are like, oh, that's great, we can all be in the military now. And what it is back in the day, if you were a fucking pussy, like most gay guys are, and you didn't want to go over and fight the war, you could just say, well, hey, I'm a fucking dick-licking homo, and that was it. You got fucking Section 8, and you didn't have to fucking worry about it. Now, fuck that. Now fucking Private Parts is going to get a fucking M16 and get fucking put on the front line. He didn't do them any favors at all, but yet that's what they think, Oh, Obama, that's my fucking nigga, helping us out. And what he did was he just took that fucking loophole away from him. It's all that he accomplished. And I was all for it.
There was no, when I saw it especially when I was in Korea, and that was 87 through 89. Yeah. There were all kinds of gay guys in the military, and we knew the gay guys.
The Navy's full of them.
Yeah,
the
we knew
Navy
they were.
Is full
it
of
didn't matter. We didn't care. What we cared about was that we just didn't want the swishy fucking faggy attitude around us. But
right.
we had gay guys all the time, and I was friendly with all. I didn't give a shit. Who cared?
I know. I didn't. If I'm not. I mean, I was in the Rangers, and I don't know if it was more of an elite unit. If we did have any fucking gay guys, but I was in from 80 to 88, and all I'll say is if there were, they kept their fucking mouths shut about it. Because I'll tell you, even today, even with these laws and the fact that they're allowed in the military now, trust me, in a fucking elite unit like Special Forces or the fucking Airborne Rangers or the fucking infantry, you do not want to fucking come out of the closet. If you're a gay guy and you just happen to find yourself in the fucking infantry, you definitely want to stay in the fucking closet. I don't give a fuck what Obama says because your life will be living fucking hell.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the fucking reality of it.
Dude, when I was in California, when I was at Fort Ord, we used to teach. I used to be a teacher of it was a pre-ranger course. We had two courses. We had pre-ranger, which was called CLC, Combat Leadership Course. And then we also taught air assault. We were certified to certify people with their air assault badge. So we did all that training. And I mean, I wasn't really as much of a trainer as the other guys were because most of the guys were E6, E7, and I was a E4. So, right. But yeah, the guys that were just soft, not they may have been gay, they may not have been gay, but that they were just soft. Oh, yeah. They fucking got killed. They were the guys that would end up. We used to have this rucksack that we called the motherfucker because it was full of nothing but weights, and they would put like 150 pounds of weights in this thing. And anybody that was soft, that was how they made them toughen up. Was they made them take the motherfucker on the 5-mile march every fucking morning, and you had to march 5 fucking miles with 150 pounds on your back. Fuck that. But that's how we treat.
I mean, I went to basic at Fort Dix, and then I went to infantry school and jump school and ranger school at Fort Benning, Georgia, and then from there they sent me to Fort Lewis, Washington. Right. But, I mean, trust me, no fucking gay guys were making it through fucking Hell Week in ranger school. Because by the time they got to where I was, they were pretty well fucking weeded out. So, I mean, we never even thought about it. You know, I mean, we all knew each other, and we trusted each other and accepted each other, and I don't know. It just we never even fucking. I mean, we would call each other faggot, but that was like calling somebody an asshole back then. You know, it weren't really implying that they were a fucking homo or anything like that. Even if you called them a homo, it was just like it was just another way of saying oh, you fucking asshole.
Look, in
Like
Ranger
that,
School,
you know, it didn't
in
fucking
Ranger
mean
School,
anything.
all you cared about was that the guy next to you could catch more bugs than you, so that you could share them to eat. 'Cause you were starving.
Eating maggots out of a fucking tree. Well, I'll never fucking forget that shit.
Me neither.
Anyway, I'll probably call you guys back later. And hail and kill, hand job, and fuck you, pal.
Right?
All right, there goes Scotty.
There you go. Had a little military convo.
Little fellow ranger there.
Yeah, talking a little army.
Right.
Might as well. I've been writing about it all day.
Sure. Well, apparently these kids over there at the campus are of no Army ilk, because they're all upset because they saw the Confederate flag on a laptop.
I can see where they're traumatized.
Yeah. The incidents happened at Framingham State University in Massachusetts. Isn't that up where Scotty is?
I think so.
When not one, but two separate incidences of students seeing a Confederate flag being displayed caused them to file a bias report.
Bias.
Remember, we had a
Yes.
conversation last week about the bias action team.
Right.
The action team sprung into action. Could you imagine that being headed up by like Mr. T?
I pity the fool.
I'm from the bias action team. I pity the fool who has bias.
I pity the fool who upset my people with that flag.
Right.
I pity the fool.
The chief diversity and inclusion officer.
Jesus.
Let me read that line again. The chief diversity and inclusion officer, Sean Huddleston, released an email that was obtained by MRC TV. Before you ask, yes, a chief diversity and inclusion officer is a real thing.
What's the qualification for that? Had to be like the grand marshal at the gay parade?
Probably.
Jesus.
It's not a joke to poke fun at how ridiculous the safe space agenda has gotten on college campuses. It's an actual job that a person can put on their resume. According to the email from Huddleston, a student reported a bias incident today in which the image of a Confederate flag was displayed on a laptop.
Oh, no.
Many of you may be aware that last month we received a bias incident involving two other students for a similar issue. Mm-hmm. Although related in nature, the two incidences involve separate parties.
Oh, no.
The second of the two incidences happened when one of the college students saw a little sticker of a Confederate flag on a computer of another university student. To show the ridiculousness of it all, we are going to repeat that for you, but change the wording just a bit.
Okay.
A full-grown adult and college student who is at a university in preparation for the real world was outraged when they saw a sticker and felt the need to file a report. The FSU Bias Protocol and Response Team, has been made aware of the incident and will meet to determine any measure that may be needed to respond to the incident. Our primary goal continues to be to expeditiously address and resolve incidences of bias that impede our progress toward a welcoming and an inclusive campus community.
Well, how are you welcoming and being inclusive to the person that supports the Confederate flag?
Right. Even more comical than having a chief diversity and inclusion officer is having a protocol and response team.
No shit.
This is just becoming embarrassing. The two offended students have been offered counseling in response to the ordeal that they have gone through.
The ordeal that they've gone through.
They've gone through that ordeal. They're emotionally scarred for life. I saw a Confederate flag sticker on somebody's laptop, and it just scarred me for life.
What is going to happen to these two people that they get into their fucking job and their boss yells at them for doing a shit job and is like, you're fucking up. Pick it up. Get it better. Will they be able to handle that?
Probably not.
Or will they fucking go and file an HR complaint?
Look at Nathan in the chat room.
Safe Space University.
Is it Charlie the Unicorn on the side of that?
I think it is. Charlie didn't have a safe space. He got his kidney cut out.
Yeah, he did.
That's not very safe.
Oh, you too. I'm just going to go back to sleep now. Is the meadow on fire?
That was another good bit that you and I did many years ago.
Charlie.
Sean
the non-believer.
Sean.
My God.
If you want to hear something funny that we've done in our day, that's a good one to go look up.
That's a silly one too. So there you are, our college students. They're being traumatized by the Confederate flag.
Bunch of fags.
They need some counseling.
Bunch of fags.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I need a drink real quick.
Me too.
So I thought I'd play something that's really manly.
Oh, hold on. Before you do that.
Yes.
So I'm getting texts from Serena.
Oh.
And she asked me, I guess she asked you the same question, that you wouldn't ride with her?
Yes, I told her that.
You said you would not ride with her?
Well, she said, next time I see you, yeah, I will drive you and take you to dinner.
And you said, no way?
And I said, there's no way.
No way?
Yeah, I said, there's no way. I said, you're not driving me anywhere. I said, I'll just take an Uber and I'll just meet you there.
See, because she said the same thing to me. And my first question was, what are you wearing? And she said a miniskirt, and I said, "There's no doubt. I'll sit in the passenger seat if she's wearing a miniskirt,
right?
And I will absolutely be trying to get my fingers smelling like fucking dinner if we're going to the fish restaurant,
right? Sure,
I'll definitely be trying to finger her,
right? Yeah, she was giving me some jazz the other day and said, I'll drive you here. I said, I'm not riding with you.
Well, I mean, the general course would be no, but if she's like completely,
yeah, well, we didn't get into semantics about what are you wearing and all that.
Well, you know me, I go right for it.
I was just saying, nah, I'm not riding with you.
All right, but if she was wearing the mini skirt,
I'd have to think about it. But the thing is we were cutting up a little bit. Of course, I saw Serena when I was in L.A. for the Inside Metal release, and we ran around Hollywood and we went to that Metal Church Armored Saints show and went to the Inside Metal and we went to dinner and did a few things. But I drove. She's like, well, next time I see you, I'll drive and blah blah blah. And I said, and in a jesting manner, I said, I'm not riding anywhere with you.
Would you drive her car?
Yes, I drove her car.
Okay, but you wouldn't let her drive?
No, of course not. I don't let a chick drive. Fuck that.
Even if she would let you finger bang her?
Well, that's a little bit different story.
Well, that's the story I'm asking.
Yeah, but that was not on the table at the time.
Oh,
it's like, well, if you let me drive, I'll let you finger bang me. I would probably say, okay, I'll agree.
Sit in the other seat.
Yeah, but that wasn't on the table. It was just like, I'll let you drive, and it's like, okay, I'm driving, but I'm driving. No, you're not. I'm not riding with you. Fuck that.
Then we'll take two cars, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't let chicks drive. Fuck that.
I'm with you on that.
I'm a chauvinist.
I'm with you on that. I don't generally. My story. I told the story about the dog in the car.
Yeah, you told me that.
Well, the whole reason that happened was because I drive.
Sure.
Same as you. There was no real discussion there. It was, do I want to drive or does she? Well, no discussion. I'm driving.
Right.
And then it just turned into horseshit. But I have to drive. I'm with you on that.
Sure.
Generally, I'm with you.
But I'm not letting some chick drive me around. Fuck that. I'm not some faggot.
Yeah.
Now, if I got my finger up in her snatch while she's driving, that's a little bit different.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because I'll be pulling up next to the guy in the light, and I go, yeah, I'm in the passenger seat, but I got my finger in her snatch.
Want to smell?
Exactly.
That ain't fumes you smell coming off my finger, pal.
Right. Exactly.
That's fucking Charlie Tuna.
Exactly.
Finger licking good, bitch.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to play a tune here from a manly band.
All right.
Some former members of Accept formed a band called Panzer.
Nice.
Nothing more manly than a Panzer tank rolling up your asshole.
That's right.
Run your pussy ass down.
That's right.
And this is very appropriate for the Classic Metal Show. They have a tune on there just called Hail and Kill.
Yeah, pal.
So here's Panzer exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
This is Herman Frank from Panzer, and you're listening to Classic Metal Show.